Hello, my fellow Georgia authors, and welcome to the 60th Annual Georgia Author of the Year Awards. I'm Greg Emilio, the incoming Executive Director of the Georgia Writers Association. I wanted to start just by giving a big shout out and thanks to our former director, Garrett Conley, for all the amazing work he's done over the past 2 years. I feel so fortunate to be taking the reins from such a generous director and an all around awesome person. And I wanted to tell y'all that I feel very honored to be in this role, and I'm incredibly excited to continue the GWA's work of promoting and supporting and, of course, celebrating our Georgia authors, which is what today is all about. So I'm going to fade into the background now. We'll hit a few announcements, and then we'll get into the awards. All right. We are proud to announce that we will soon be accepting submissions for the 2024 John Lewis Writing Grants. These grants are inspired by the late civil rights icon and his more than 3 decades of service as Georgia's 5th District Representative. We will award 3 grants, one each in the categories of fiction, nonfiction, and poetry. The purpose of the John Lewis Writing Grants is to elevate, encourage, and inspire the voices of Black writers in Georgia. Applicants must be emerging Black or African American writers who have been residents of Georgia for at least 1 year or full-time students at a Georgia college or university at the time of application. Last year's recipients presented their work at our annual Red Clay Writers Conference. The talented recipients were Coco Williams, Christy Robin Johnson, and Bernetta Netafay Shannon. We'll be posting more details about the grants later on this month on our websites and socials. Next up, Georgia Writers is partnering once again with the Fine Arts Work Center in Provincetown, Massachusetts to award a scholarship to a Georgia Writers member to participate in a week-long summer workshop at the Fine Arts Work Center in 2024. The scholarship winners will pay no tuition and be provided housing and a travel stipend to participate in a week-long creative writing workshop. Last year's winners were Abraham Abe Johnson and Michael Julius Adani. These two are up in Provincetown right now, living it up and writing. It's an awesome opportunity, so please stay tuned on our socials and check our website for more information as we open up these scholarships. Last year, Georgia Writers partnered with the Alliance for Full Acceptance to create our own LGBTQIA+ literary success grant in Georgia. This grant was designed to encourage and amplify the voices of LGBTQIA+ youth ages 18 to 24 in our state. At a time when the country has a record number of anti-LGBTQ legislation, over 400 bills and counting, along with the dangerous rhetoric coming out of Florida, we believe it's our responsibility to promote positive stories of queer life in the South. As LGBTQIA+ organizations have long known, stories can be life-saving. We believe that by promoting these young queer voices state and nationwide, we will offer models for success that all young queer people in the state of Georgia can aspire to. Last year's recipients of this grant were Jessica DeMarco Jacobson, Ryan Kamesa, Meredith Stafford, and Rosalie Adebayi. Once again, check back on our website and on our socials for the announcement of next year's grants in this category. And now is the perfect time to remind you that if you want to apply to some of these amazing award and grant opportunities, you need to become a member of the Georgia Writers Association. In addition to those opportunities, we provide our members with a whole bunch of services. We give you free tickets to our second Saturday workshops. We give you access to our entire catalog of past workshops. You get a free subscription to our weekly Substack, where we feature prominent writers discussing various issues of craft and other writing topics. You get discounted tickets to our Red Clay Writers Conference, and really so much more. So if you're not a member, I encourage you to become one today. You just go to our website and join and become a member of this writing community. Next, we'd like to acknowledge the incredible artist who designed this year's Gaia Awards. Karina Sephora is a local mixed media artist specializing in metal sculpture, painting, and installation. Karina works with universal and personal themes of loss and transformation within the context of contemporary society. In Karina's most recent bodies of work, she is exploring lunar images, cells, and the universe as a meditation in the making. In a concurrent body of work, she has delved into the physical transformation of guns, altering their molecular structure into flowers and garden tools through hot forging the materials. Her work has led to her community involvement with the conversation of guns in our society. A selection of her awards include Best in Show at the MoCA of Georgia and Best in Show in first place at the National Outdoor Sculpture Competition and Exhibition in North Charleston. Karina's work is on permanent display at the Martin Luther King Jr. National Historic Site, the Atlanta Botanical Gardens, Atlanta Jewish Academy, and in the collection of the Museum of Contemporary Art of Georgia, and in national private collections, including those of Elton John. So go check out Karina's work. The first award we'd like to give this year is a very special one. It is a Lifetime Achievement Award for one of the founding members of the Georgia Writers Association, the wonderful novelist Anthony Grooms. And this award will be presented by previous executive director Garrett Conley.
Today we celebrate the remarkable contributions of Anthony Grooms, a distinguished author whose work illustrates the complexities of African American experience in the American South. Anthony Grooms is a literary voice of profound depth and clarity. His novels and stories are steeped in historical context, offering readers an unflinching look at the struggles and triumphs of African Americans throughout history. His works, including Birmingham and The Vain Conversation, explore themes of racial injustice, identity, and the enduring quest for equality. Kirkus Review said of The Vain Conversation, quote, "His incisive, gripping, and empathetic novel dares to probe beneath the humiliations, customs, and fears that sustain injustice." Growing up in a segregated South, Grooms witnessed firsthand the resilience and courage of those who fought for civil rights. These experiences not only fueled his passion for storytelling, but also instilled in him a profound sense of responsibility to honor the past and educate future generations. Grooms's work is not only a testament to his skill as a writer, but has also been a beacon for social change. His storytelling bridges the gap between past and present, reminding us of the ongoing journey toward justice and equality. Through his words, we are invited to reflect, to learn, and to strive for a better future. Anthony Grooms and I worked closely together when I came to KSU in 2020. In fact, he's the main reason I came here. I found in Tony a true friend and mentor, someone whose love for the arts sustained me through so many conversations. Tony has also contributed to Georgia Writers' Substack this year, and you don't want to miss out on his lessons on craft. His former students still rave about the lessons he's shared with them over the years. Join us in honoring Anthony Grooms for the Georgia Writers Lifetime Achievement Award. Tony is a writer whose work continues to inspire, challenge, and enlighten. His stories are a testament to the power of literature to transform hearts and minds. Thank you, Tony, for your invaluable contributions to literature and to history.
All right, and now to the first category of our Georgia Author of the Year Awards biography. The nominees in this category are The Ballad of Carla Faye Tucker by Mark Beaver, Fortune and Folly, The Weird and Wonderful Life of the South's Most Eccentric Millionaire by Sarah A.H. Butler, Jumpman, The Making and Meaning of Michael Jordan by Johnny Smith, Punished for Dreaming, How School Reform Harms Black Children and How We Heal by Bettina L. Love, Through Her Eyes, One Family's Journey from Enslavement to the Great Migration by Arthur Vaughan, Unstoppable, A Story of Love, Faith, and the Power Couple Who Ignited the College Sports Broadcasting Boom by George Herthler. And the finalist for the category of biography is Johnny Smith for Jumpman, The Making and Meaning of Michael Jordan. Our judge says that in Jumpman, Johnny Smith provides an energetic yet thoughtful and amply sourced narrative that explores the life and times of the basketball icon and, along the way, Jordan's deft navigation of the reefs of race, politics, and fame in American life. Congratulations to Johnny Smith. And the winner of this year's Georgia Author of the Year Award in biography is The Ballad of Carla Faye Tucker by Mark Beaver. Our judges say of this book, in The Ballad of Carla Faye Tucker, Mark Beaver combines personal memoir and a riveting true crime narrative set far from the Atlanta suburbs of his youth. After chronicling a pair of 1983 murders in Houston, Texas, he goes on to recount how the well-publicized death row conversion to born-again Christianity of Carla Faye Tucker, one of the crime's two convicted culprits, and her eventual execution in 1998 affected his own life and that of his Southern Baptist father. In the process, while shrewdly integrating vignettes from U.S. history into his narrative, Beaver describes how saving the convict's life became a cause célèbre among the nation's evangelicals, thus exposing fault lines inside that sprawling community and America at large. Huge, huge congrats to Mark Beaver. And this year's nominees for the category of children's book are Mikey Taylor for Bentley's Fantabulous Idea, Dana Reed for Danny Doesn't Quit, P.E. Waring for Elodie Meets Goober the Ghost, Catherine Gale for When a Monster Dreams, and Teresa the Songbird Wilson for You So Black. And the finalist for children's book is Elodie Meets Goober the Ghost by P.E. Waring, and the illustrations done by Mattia Anique. Our judge had this to say about this book. We loved Waring's message and the calming use of color in Anique's illustrations. This book is a beautiful work of art. Congratulations to P.E. Waring and Mattia Anique. And this year's Georgia Author of the Year Award for Children's Book goes to Teresa the Songbird Wilson for You So Black. Our judge says that You So Black shares an important message and shares it beautifully. This is the kind of book so gorgeous you'll want to leave it on display for others to find. Big congrats to Teresa the Songbird Wilson. And the nominees in the category of detective mystery and sci-fi are Michael Dubrow for Always Agnes, William Rawlings for Crypto, a John Wesley O'Toole novel, Paul Senor for Double Trouble, Catherine Nichols for False Claims, Jeff Shaw for Leanne and the Clean Man, Lily Charles for Murder at the Book Fair, Vanessa Riley for Murder in Drury Lane, Christopher Swan for Never Back Down, Kathy Manos Penn for Paw Prints, Prose, and Murder, Philip Price for Self Rescue, Gail Karwoski for Skeleton in the Art Closet, and D.L. Mitchell for Trust the Terrier, a Coral Shores veterinary mystery. And the finalist for this year's detective mystery and sci-fi is William Rawlings for his novel Crypto. Our judge had this to say about this fantastic book. William Rawlings's Crypto delivers an intricate, riveting mystery that explores both the complex world of cryptocurrency and the art scene. Although the plot was captivating, twisting, and suspenseful, it was really Donald Moole, as a character, who delivered the greatest mystery. Much like the protagonist, John Wesley O'Toole, I found myself keen to understand Moole's psychology and worldview. Rawlings' story also takes us to some very unexpected places, such as the darkest corners of digital culture, an immensely enjoyable and timely book. Huge congrats to William Rawlings. And the winner in the category of detective mystery and sci-fi is Vanessa Riley for Murder in Drury Lane. Our judge had this to say about the winner. Vanessa Riley's Murder in Drury Lane is an electrifying, multi-layered murder mystery set within Regency-era London's theatre scene. Riley's narrative explores deep themes such as justice, betrayal, societal expectations, and the Byzantine underbelly of theater politics. In Lady Abigail Worthing, Riley has created a strong, perceptive, and likable protagonist. This is also an immaculately researched historical novel with a strong sense of place and a vivid setting. I absolutely adored this book. Wow, what a wonderful blurb for an awesome book. Congrats to Vanessa Riley. And the nominees for this year's Georgia Author of the Year Award in History are Virginia Gardner Troy for Dynamic Design, Lisa Russell for Georgia Covered Bridges, Lee Lancaster for the Georgia Farmers Strike, Mike Brown for The Last Laird of Sepullo, Susan Lindsley for Milledgeville's Sesquicentennial Murders, Elizabeth Giddens for Oconaluftee, The History of a Smoky Mountain Valley, and Leanne Lands for Poor Atlanta, Poverty, Race, and the Limits of Sunbelt Development. And this year's finalist in the category of history is Leanne Lands for Poor Atlanta, Poverty, Race, and the Limits of Sunbelt Development. Our judge had this to say about the book. Poor Atlanta by Leanne Lands offers a profound examination of the persistent issues of poverty and racial inequality in Atlanta, challenging the prevailing narrative of unbridled prosperity associated with Sunbelt cities. Lands dissects how urban development policies and economic strategies have systematically marginalized African American communities, despite the city's image as a booming metropolitan hub. Lands's work is particularly relevant for policymakers, scholars, and residents of Atlanta who seek to understand the deeper roots of the city's challenges and envision a more equitable future. Her clear, engaging prose ensures that the complex subject matter is accessible to a wide audience, making this book a significant contribution to the discourse on race and urban development. Congrats to Leanne Lands. And this year's Georgia Author of the Year Award in History goes to Elizabeth Giddens for Oconaluftee, The History of a Smoky Mountain Valley. Our judge had this to say about the winner. Oconaluftee, The History of a Smoky Mountain Valley by Elizabeth Giddens is a vividly narrated chronicle of a region steeped in cultural and natural significance. Giddens brings to life the rich history of Oconaluftee, a valley nestled in the heart of the Great Smoky Mountains, with a blend of scholarly rigor and engaging storytelling. For readers in Georgia, this book offers a unique connection as the history of the Smoky Mountains and the tribal nations are deeply intertwined with the broader history of the southeastern United States. Many Georgians have ties to this region, whether through ancestry or cultural heritage or from weekend trips for camping and hiking in this beautiful area. Oconaluftee provides a rich context that enhances the understanding of their own state's history, making it a compelling read for those interested in the intricate tapestry of the southern Appalachian region. Huge congrats to Elizabeth Giddens. And on to the nominees for this year's category of inspirational book. We have Lee Ellis for Captured by Love, inspiring true romance stories of Vietnam POWs. Nicholas Doster for Don't Look Ethel. Peter Wallace for A Generous Beckoning, accepting God's invitation to a more fulfilling life. Natalie Kohlhaas for Hello Anxiety, My Old Friend, harness Your Invisible Superpower. Melanie Brown for Keep Moving Forward, an interactive survival guide for overcoming and thriving. Angela Williams for Loving Me After Abuse. And Millicent Flake for Moving Beyond, Journeying Through Life's Challenges. And this year's inspirational book finalist is Natalie Kohlhaas for Hello Anxiety, My Old Friend, Harness Your Invisible Superpower. Our judge says that this book is an exceptional roadmap to understanding one's anxiety, unlocking its power, and channeling it to be an effective tool that can positively impact one's life. Many, many congrats to Natalie Kohlhaas. And the Georgia Author of the Year award for inspirational book goes to Lee Ellis for Captured by Love, inspiring true romance stories from Vietnam POWs. According to our judge, Captured by Love is a touching portrayal of love's endurance and inspirational power in the face of life's hardest challenges. Our most heartfelt congrats to Lee Ellis. And we have a long list of nominees in the category of literary fiction and short story collection, starting with Mark Warren for A Last Serenade for Billy Bonney, Sybil Baker for Apparitions, Cynthia Newberry Martin for The Art of Her Life, Rahad Abir, edited by Kimberly Lim for Bengal Hound, Lori Duff for Broken Things, John Williams for End Times, John Dorio for Idioms, Larry Freeland for Legacy of Honor, The Air Warrior, Carol Owens Campbell for Look Away No More, Cynthia Newberry Martin, once again, for Love Like This, Chika Unigwe for The Middle Daughter, Deneen Milner for One Blood, Vanessa Riley for Queen of Exiles, Tamar Cantwell for Romance World, Julia Franks for They Say So, Gordon Johnston for Seven Islands of the Okmulgee, River Stories, Lila Lawson for So Long Bobby, Brandon Daly for Through the Dark, Gillian Grable for Until We Meet Again, The Life of Jenny Rayfield Williams. And this year's finalist in the category of literary fiction and short story collection is Deneen Milner for One Blood. Our judge has this to say about the book. This spirited, blunt, ambitious novel provides for a captivating reading experience. Deneen Milner has created an engaging tapestry of mothers and daughters. The world of the novel is well detailed, and the characters are intricately drawn. Furthermore, the writing is clear and rich. And here is a passage. Yes'm, Grace would say, bringing the bowl of peas to her nose to smell the earthiness of the dish, mixed with okra and sometimes corn if they had it, and a little ham hock too, if somebody pushed a baby out and filled the hands that caught it with a pull or two of the salty meat as a thank you. Overall, a terrific book, one with many unexpected turns. Absolutely love that passage. Big, big congrats to Deneen Milner. And this year's Georgia Author of the Year award in literary fiction and short story collection goes to Rahad Abir for Bengal Hound. Our judge has this to say. This unique novel features a main character, Shelley, who becomes increasingly isolated as he deals with a relentless, unforgiving world. The love story is distinct, traditional yet unusual, and Roxana is both complex and heartbreaking. The era and setting of the novel feel like full characters as well. Here's an excerpt. Beneath the big banyan tree, Lalu was sound asleep. Above him, a medium-sized brown cobra lay nestled on a distant branch. They both looked calm. dead to the world in the afternoon light. A lonely owl sitting on a top branch moved its head now and then. A deep slumber in this eerie place was possible for none but Lalu and the animals. Bengal Hound is authentic and complex, and the storytelling skills on display here are impressive. At times, the narrative becomes tight and abrupt, a mirror for what is happening with the protagonist. Overall, this is a vividly imagined, smartly edited novel. Congrats to Rahad Abir. And this year's nominees for the category of memoir are B. Jane Jones for Be Prepared, We Are All Going to Die. Barbara Gomez Serafino for The Book I Always Promised. Angela Williams for From Sorrows to Sapphires, Freedom from the Shame of Child Sexual Abuse. Harrison Scott Key for How to Stay Married. V.L. Brunskill for The Killing Closet. John Blake for More Than I Imagined, What a Black Man Discovered About the White Mother He Never Knew. Jim Paulk for Swimming for Our Lives, a Naval Academy graduate's stories of an adventurous life. Martha Boone for The Unfettered Urologist. Mike Coleman for The Way From Me to Us. Andy Turner for Who Turned Up the Silence. And Jackie K. Cooper for The Wisdom of Winter, Reflections from the Journey. And our finalist in the category of memoir goes to Mike Coleman for The Way From Me to Us. Our judge had this to say: The Way From Me to Us is a touching tribute to a lifelong gay relationship forged in the face of adversity, uncertainty, and revolutionary change in American culture. Mike Coleman excavates that courtship, a series of 35 love letters, and, quote, the pink cloud of early romance, to tell the life story of that love and reveal how honesty, trust, and community can help us imagine a newer world, not just for ourselves, but for everyone. Congratulations, Mike Coleman. And this year's Georgia Author of the Year award for memoir goes to John Blake for More Than I Imagined, What a Black Man Discovered About the White Mother He Never Knew. Our judge says this of the winner: John Blake's More Than I Imagined offers a compelling take on our complicated racial inheritance, informed by Blake's unique ancestry and career in journalism. In his moving account of his search for his birth mother and confrontations with his family, Blake reveals both how prejudice works and how it might be overcome. With deft prose and delicate insight, More Than I Imagine embodies Blake's assertion that, quote, facts don't change people, relationships do. Beautiful. And congratulations to John Blake. And moving on to the nominees for the category of Poetry Chapbook, we have Kimberly McAfee for Amer Asian, My Journey to Becoming Whole as a Mixed Korean American. C.W. Bryan for Celine, an Elegy. David R. Altman for Cold Remembered and Other Poems. L. Warren for Come Back for a Little Bit. Julia Knowlton for Life of the Mind, and Eleanor Wolfe Holmes for The Miriam Poems. And this year's finalist in the category of Poetry Chapbook is David R. Altman for Cold Remembered and Other Poems. The judge says that David Altman's Cold Remembered presents an incredible offering of poems in both form and content. The opening poem, Picking Up My Crying Father at the Airport, and the gut-wrenching title poem, Cold Remembered, display Altman's dexterity when engaging the reader. Later poems in the collection reflect a skilled and disciplined poet who meticulously demonstrates mastery of rhythm and rhyme. Altman's versatility offers the reader a potpourri of verse, and he does so with great knack and artistry. Congratulations to David R. Altman. And this year's Georgia Author of the Year Award in Poetry Chapbook goes to Julia Caroline Knowlton for Life of the Mind. Our judge says that Life of the Mind embraces the daring and self-assurance one must have in the journey through womanhood. It takes the reader from the hot summers of Georgia and its illicit heat to the vibrant streets of Italy and Paris. It explores loneliness and aging, love lost and love longed for. In its brevity, it is contemplative and thoughtful. As a body of work, this chapbook is impressively beautiful. Congratulations to Julia Knowlton. And in the category of Poetry Full-Length Collection, our nominees this year are Christina Olson for The Anxiety Workbook, Danielle Cadena-Dulin for Desire Museum, Gail Thompson for Mountain Amnesia, Clifford Brooks for Old Gods Poems, Kevin Cantwell for 1,000 Sheets of Rice Paper Poems, Kimberly McAfee for The Savior and the Shadow Queen, a fantastical tale told through sequential poems, John Doria for Slowly I Grow, Olatunde Osinake for Tender-Headed, James May for Unusually Grand Ideas, Gordon Johnston for Where Here is Hard to Say, Poems, and Dana Wildsmith for With Access to Tools. And this year's finalist for Poetry Full-Length Collection is Christina Olson for The Anxiety Workbook. Our judge says this about the collection. Funny and insightful, Olson's poetry captures the anxieties of our age with a perfectly tuned ear. Drawing from a wide range of subjects and influences, the Anxiety Workbook entertains on every page. Olson's voice is somehow ours and not ours at the same time, a brilliant rendering of the anxieties we face in our everyday life gathered together in one place, rendered in a startling new language. Congratulations, Christina Olson. And this year's Georgia Author of the Year Award in Full-Length Poetry Collection goes to Olatunde Osinake for Tender-Headed. Our judge says this of the winner. Osinake explores gender dynamics, especially masculinity, with a deft hand. This is a collection that is at once assured and experimental. Each poem is also a testament to the strength found in vulnerability, making this debut a compelling read. This book is a poignant exploration of personal and collective memory, resonating deeply with anyone who has ever grappled with the complexities of selfhood and heritage. Congratulations to Olatunde Osinake. And our nominees for this year's romance category are Janine Engler for A Laird Without a Past, Anne Armistead for A Tryst in Paris, Marilyn Barron for The Case of the Forgotten Fragonard, Pam Montavani for Christmas with a Cowboy, Lauren Connolly for Letter Late Than Never, Susan May for Once Upon a Christmas Family, Susan Carlyle for Reunited with the Children's Doc and for Second Chance for the Heart Doctor, Melody Johnson for Sight Beyond the Sun, and Susan Carlyle, again, for Wedding Date with Her Best Friend. And this year's finalist in the category of romance is Susan Carlyle for Reunited with the Children's Doc. And our judge says this about the finalist. Reuniting with the children's doc dealt with some serious themes that defied the stereotypes sometimes associated with the genre and proved that romance can tackle serious topics not only with creativity, but sensitivity, research, and care. Big congrats to Susan Carlyle. And this year's Georgia Author of the Year award in romance goes to Janine Englert for A Laird Without a Past. Our judge has this to say. A laird without a past transports us back in time with beautiful scenes of crackling hearths, ancient Scottish locks, and midnight skies sprinkled with stars. The very reason this book is a winner is contained in this sentence. Quote, a breeze ruffled his hair and he spread out his arms, opening his palms to the sun almost as if he were a man in prayer, asking for deliverance. Quote, this book was quite simply soulful, deep, and lovely from start to finish. Many, many congrats to Janine Englert. And on to the category of specialty book. Our nominees in this category are Daniel Black for Black on Our Resilience and Brilliance in America, Robert Myers for Celebrating Backyard Birds, Natalie Kang for Egg Rolls and Sweet Tea, Asian Inspired Southern Style, Julie E. Blomecki, Let Me Say This, a Dolly Parton poetry anthology, Susan Lindsley for Whitetail Secrets, Bachelor Life, William Walsh for Why I Wrote This Poem, Cynthia Graubert for Zucchini Love. And our finalist for the category of specialty book goes to Natalie Kang for Egg Rolls and Sweet Tea, Asian Inspired Southern Style. Here's the judge's citation. Natalie Kang's cookbook fuses the Asian food diaspora with the American South. As much as I enjoyed flipping through Kang's recipes, I might muster up the courage to try the spicy pig ear salad. I really enjoyed the appetizing bits of storytelling from Kang's childhood in Smyrna, Georgia, about why each recipe was special to her and how to perfect it. The recipes are easy to read and encourage even the most novice cook to give them a try. A must have cookbook for anyone with a diverse palate and curiosity about the South's expansive culinary landscape. Congrats to Natalie Kang. And this year's Georgia Author of the Year award for specialty book goes to Daniel Black for on Our Resilience and Brilliance in America. Here's what our judge had to say of the winner. Daniel Black's first book of essays is a necessary and accessible analysis of Black experiences in the United States. Known for his breathtaking fiction writing, Black's foray into essays is equally powerful. He writes, quote, each word is an invitation to believe a new thing, a different thing, a more marvelous, transformative thing that invites them to remove their mask and exist unashamed, close quote. Black on Black highlights Black's masterful storytelling, his voice at times gentle and other times more commanding and direct. Black storytelling stands in as a refreshing approach to traditional scholarship, using stories from his life and popular culture to craft eloquent and critical insights into race, identity, and agency. Part memoir, part cultural commentary, and all unapologetically from Black's thoughtful perspective, Black on Black is a critical intervention in thinking about the complexities of Black identities and experiences in America. Big, big congratulations to Daniel Black. And now for the nominees in the category of young adult writing. We have Tony Barnhart for The 19 of Green, Terry J. Benton Walker for Blood Debts, Dwayne Soul for Blueberrians at the Gate, Beverly Vornado for In Search of the Painted Bunting, Mark Ashiro for Into the Light, McCall Hoyle for Just Gus, Sherilyn McQueen for Sabotage, and Chris Negron for Underdog City. And this year's finalist for young adult writing is Terry J. Benton Walker for Blood Debts. Our judge's citation says that Blood Debts immerses readers in a thrilling world with dark secrets and the bonds of family. With gripping suspense and heart pounding action, this novel explores the power of destiny and the sacrifices we make for those we love. Congrats to Terry J. Benton Walker. And this year's Georgia Author of the Year award for the category of Young Adult goes to Mark Oshiro for Into the Light. Our judge has this to say about the winner. Into the Light is a captivating story with a poignant exploration of identity, resilience, and the journey to find one's truth. With lyrical prose and unforgettable characters, this novel illuminates the power of self discovery and the courage to embrace one's authentic self. Congratulations to this year's winner, Mark Oshiro. And our last, but certainly not least, category for this year's awards is First Novel. The nominees are Cindy K. Stewart for Abounding Hope, Laura Smith for All Is Now Lost, Devon Valdez for Beneath the Smiling Moon, Helen Bradley for Breach of Trust, Dawn Major for The Bystanders, Eileen O'Hara for Islands of Women, Ronnie Jowers for Even a Shepherd, Kate Halleck for 9 Ways to Die, an Enneagram murder mystery, Jeffrey Dale Lofton for Red Clay Susie, Matt Aiken for School of Sleuths, Josh Green for Secrets of Ash, Monica McCullough for Songs of Lost Things, Sonata for the Sun, Gabby Anderson for South of Happily, and Vera Bell for Through the Veneer of Time. And this year's finalist for the category of First Novel is Dawn Major for The Bystanders. Our judge says this. With a cast of quirky characters in a vivid rural setting, Dawn Major's The Bystanders explores the complex social dynamics of the not-so-long-ago Deep South. Animated with all the hair and neon of the 1980s, Major's dark tale resounds with moral dilemmas, family entanglements, and rich paw accents that demand we reconsider how we react to the major and minor injustices we witness every day. The Bystanders is a gripping encounter with a troubling American reality. Congrats to Dawn Major. And this year's Georgia Author of the Year award for first novel goes to Jeffrey Dale Lofton for Red Clay Susie. Here's what our judge had to say about the winner. Red Clay Susie is a triumph of observation, insight, and tenderness that teaches us to never be afraid to be who we truly are, love who we deeply love. Phil Bett's no-nonsense courage and perseverance in the face of prejudice and injustice inspire both empathy and admiration as Jeffrey Dale Lofton's vivid prose carries the reader into Georgia's complicated past. We emerge with a renewed fondness for matchbox cars, milkshakes, and those closest to us, even the most unpleasant, and with greater understanding for those who struggle to find themselves on the fringes of society. Big congratulations to Jeffrey Dale Lofton. That's a wrap, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to the 60th Annual Georgia Author of the Year Awards. Massive congratulations to all of our nominees, finalists, and of course, our winning authors. I think these awards show year in and year out what a wealth of talent we have in our state and what a beautiful writing community we all get to share. I want to thank our judges for this year who put in an immense amount of time and effort reading all of these books and making their selections. These awards wouldn't be possible without you. I would like to remind everyone that if you're not a member of Georgia Writers yet, go become one so you can access all of our grants and all of the upcoming programming that we have this next year. Um, Go to our website, connect with us on our socials, and happy reading, happy writing, and I hope to see y'all soon. All right, cheers.